Hey everybody, my name is David. I'm one of the core community leads here at MakerDAO, and welcome to today, March 19th's community call. So for those of you that are new to the call, we go through everything in the MakerDAO universe, all the cool partnerships that have been going on, some milestones, any recent votes that have been going on, uh, just the works, community highlights, all the good stuff. And we do this every Tuesday, so feel free to tune in the future. But if you're here now, we're gonna start off how we usually start off, going through some of the real life events that have been going on. And this week has been pretty exciting. There's been a lot of meetups going on, and actually there's one going on in just an hour or two from now, which you could live stream. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna throw it to Lenka just to start it off. So she's out in Bratislava right now. So Lenka, you wanna say hi and tell us what's going on? Lenka, you there?
Okay, I was
Hey.
muted, sorry. Hi guys, greetings from Bratislava. I'm working from Progress Bar, where Annette is based. She's sitting next to me. She's also in this call. And we'll have another event organized by her as a core community maker member. And I'll actually join for a couple minutes just to speak about one specific thing, how we, about our serving the underserved aspect of Maker, how we, sorry, just a lot of things popping up on my screen. Yes, I also managed to stop at another venue here in Bratislava called Paralelna Polis. And they have organized a crypto branch. So I actually have mingled at two different venues that are somehow related to crypto. It's been interesting. I'm still trying to persuade them to start accepting Dai at Paralelna Polis. So I really hope that there comes a solution that will support all cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum and ERC20 based currencies, XDAI, why not? Yes, tonight Annette will introduce her event, I guess. It will be topic will be decentralized finance. And also we're having another event in London, which will be the finals of blockchain, a future of blockchain. It's a 3-month hackathon that is focused on university students. So really excited to find out what will happen on 23rd. I'll be in Copenhagen as part of Copenhagen Documentary Festival, where there'll be the Trust Machine, which is a movie about blockchain, and I'll do a little intro into blockchain and a little bit about Maker as well. Then we'll have our head of integrations, Lasse, to speak in Copenhagen again at the blockchain conference organized by PwC. That will be on the 26th. I guess that David, you post this info also publicly for the community. And then on the 28th, we're having exciting thing again in Copenhagen. It will be the first of town hall organized by the group behind ETH Web3 community. And we'll have a speaker and panelist from Maker as well. Rune will be speaking there. It will be on the 28th. And as it's not enough, on the 28th, we'll have Financial Inclusion Summit in Oslo. Our head of product, Søren, will be there. And as well on the 28th, which is a crazy date, we'll have Gustav, who is our business development buddy for Europe and Africa, be present in Cape Town for the Global Money Transfer Summit. I believe he'll be in a panel. So it's going to be crazy, crazy times for us in Europe and Africa.
28th, man. The 28th. There's 3 separate events in 3 different countries on the 28th. That's
2
kind
continents.
Of awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Pretty intense.
So I'll leave the floor to the rest.
All right, cool. I'll give an update about Do. So Do's our Korean community manager, and on the 15th of March, just a few days ago, he did a really big meetup in Korea, and there were people like from Engine there, and Loom and Storm, and I think there was around 150 people that actually came. So go do. Let's see what else. Mariano has no updates this week for events. And then last week I missed an event. So we actually participated in the MIT Bitcoin conference last weekend. So Rune actually was over there and he spoke, and it was a good event from what I could tell. I don't have anything too notable to mention from it, but we were there. All right, so for events, I think that is it. Is Mariano in the call by chance? Yeah, no, he's not here today. All right, that's okay. All right, so let's move on to some new hires. So this week we actually took on 2 new people. So we took on Peng, who's our community support manager in China. So he's going to be helping out Jocelyn and Chow and our team over there. And we also hired Akash Patel. So Akash is starting as our head of trading in New York. He's going to be doing mostly Python programming related to our market making and risk trading activities. So he's a really exciting addition to our New York office, which is actually where I'm based out of. So he's a really great guy. Actually, really interested to see some of the work he's going to be doing. That's it for new hires. We're going to go through some partnerships now. I saw that SportsX, which is I think sports betting site, launched their platform, and all the bets are natively done in Dai. That's pretty cool. And then also Ether Capital put out a post on their website about announcing their investment in MakerDAO. I believe they bought. I believe they invested $1 million, and they wrote a whole thesis for why. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Also notable, that's it for partnerships for this week. There's also something really cool. So if you're a community member and you like to make sure things look nice and are written well and explain things well, community development is putting out an FAQ a week. We have a bunch of these FAQ documents that we've been working on in the background for the last couple months. And the one that we put out this week is the Dai FAQ. So everything you want to know about Dai, it's there. Just visit Reddit, and it's the sticky post on top. So what we're going to be doing with these is we're hosting them. We're asking the community for feedback, for any additional questions that they want to see on the FAQ. We're, wanting people to correct our grammar, our typos, anything we might have missed. So definitely read through the FAQ if you want to help out. But otherwise, after a while, it's going to be hosted in a GitHub repository with a bunch of the other FAQs, and we're going to make a community resource that's going to be comprised of I think 7 or 8 FAQ docs covering everything from CDPs, Dai, the stability fee, risk parameters, the whole gamut of single collateral Dai. So that's exciting. All right, next, we have actually made from within our organization, Kenny Rowe put together a pretty neat spreadsheet on the price of Dai in US dollars via the CoinMarketCap feeds, and it's all in Google Sheets. So if you go on Reddit, you could check that out. And actually, hold on, pause. I think I may have forgotten to do something. So I have been putting together this agenda document, and I've been making it shareable so you guys could follow along, and I forgot to share the link with you guys. So here you go. So if you go in the chat and you check out this document, you could just click on that part of the agenda, and it'll take you to the Reddit post. But yeah, so yeah, no problem, Christine. Yeah, so check that out. It's a pretty cool Google Sheets. You could play around with it. You could see what the price of Dai is according to CoinMarketCap. Yeah, and Kenny Rowe just wrote in the chat, it's meant to be customized, so hack away. Just meant to be like a bit of a framework. And again, it's Google Sheets, so anybody is meant to be able to open it up and play with it. All right, and in other official news, we also have a governance poll that's going on that was launched yesterday. So if you've been following along, if you're an MKR token holder, and an active participant in the governance of MakerDAO, we have proposed stability fee increases yet again. And this time I'm really glad to see that the governance poll does not have just the two options, keep it or raise it. It has actually three options: to keep it at its current level, to raise it by 2%, another 2% increment to 5.5%. And then the third option is to raise it by, I think, 4%. So right now, if you guys actually want to see, I'm going to share my screen really quick, and we could get a live update on the current status. So here's the polling. All right, so for keeping the fee, we got 825 MKR. For raising the fee by 2.5%, by 2% to 5.5% per year, it's about 2,400 MKR voting for that, and we have a whopping 40,000 MKR voting for the 7.5% a year. So that's what's going on there. So if you have some MKR and you want to participate, definitely participate. The governance polls are good. They're good for consensus, and I'm excited for our Thursday meeting, which actually it's a really good time to plug. If you are new to these calls and you're new to MakerDAO, we also host a meeting every Thursday called the Governance and Risk Meeting, and it's really, really great if you're curious about how discourse happens around stability fee increases and how governance early on in Maker is developing, because this is very much a new process and a lot of people are collaborating to make it work and to make sure it's done right. So have a lot of respect for the guys that participate in that call. So definitely sit in if you're curious on that. All right, so that's pretty much it for all the official side of things. So I'm gonna go through some highlights from the community as well. And I'm actually gonna take a pause right now just to ask you guys that are actually in the call right now, if you guys have any questions about anything, definitely type in the chat. This call is meant to be, not just a monologue for me, but we're happy to have conversations on this call and really get to know our community. So definitely ask questions in the chat. And if you have a mic or a camera, definitely jump in. All right. So highlights from the community. Oh yeah, sure, Kenny. So Kenny is asking me to comment on how the governance votes differ from executive votes. So in MakerDAO, we have a 2-vote system. Governance votes are akin to like signal voting and establishing soft consensus. So whenever there's like an issue that needs to be decided upon, and there's not and we need to like kind of gauge what the governance community's thoughts on it are, we put out a governance vote, and that gives the chance for the community to kind of have discourse and see what's going on around that particular topic. And then the executive vote is simply the vote that actually executes the specific change that we are voting on in the system. So it's kind of like signaling and then executing. Those are like the two different things. Hilmar asks, at the moment, who's actually able to create these polls and executive votes? Only the foundation or every MKR token holder? So at the moment, if you have some technical skill, actually anybody can create a governance poll or an executive vote. And I think that if I'm not mistaken, Kenny, maybe you could speak to this, but I know that there's visibility. Like I don't actually know how they end up on the front end. Is that like automated, or does the team have to manually put any proposals that they see on chain on the front end?
Sure. So the front end meaning vote.makerdao.com.
Yeah.
So that particular property, and I'm just speaking from my own understanding, I'll just preface this, I could be mistaken, but that particular website is managed by the internal team. So it's hard coded. But it could be forked, and we are planning to make that available, meaning not necessarily that particular website, but some front end available to display what are called slates, which are things that can be voted upon, because you can vote on more than one thing at a time, actually. So we will be putting out tools that people can make their own front ends. So there'll be different types of front ends. And right now, anybody can create a proposal that can be voted on. And one interesting thing about proposals is they're just addresses. So you can nominate a smart contract to be a proposal. In this case, a smart contract to set a particular value on the Maker system, or you can just set an address. You could make somebody like king or something like that, which is a fine little detail that I've just been digging into recently. And this has just been my own research on how the technical aspects of governance work. And I'll be planning on putting out some explainers about the technical bits of how this works. But at the moment, we don't want to make it too easy for people to put up proposals, because then there'll be a lot of them probably, and that's going to be a bit difficult to wade through. But the intention here, and always with MakerDAO, is to gradually decentralize over time with just about everything that we do. So at the moment, if you have technical skill and understanding of how the system works, you absolutely can create a proposal to have voting on. And then eventually what we'll do is get this broader and broader and wider until it's a very decentralized system.
So Kenny, I don't know if this is maybe the right time to ask this, but what do you know about chief.makerdao.com? I think chief.makerdao.com actually allows you to submit a new slate.
It does. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Chief is another front end, just like any other website that can read blockchain data. And chief.makerdao.com is it's a kind of a generalized template that we use for other things. It was also the first template that we used for CDPs. But what that shows you, it shows you like a list of slates. It shows you how many votes are in each slate. You can choose a new chief. You can spin up a new chief. So you could fork the MakerDAO governance system and make your own, governance platform to manage anything that you want. And let's see. So it offers a few other different features than just the vote.makerdao. So it is definitely a bit more powerful, but it's a little bit more convoluted as well. There's a lot of data there, and if you don't know exactly what you're looking at, it might be a little confusing. But it's a good tool for sure.
Nice. Thanks for the summary. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hilmar is satisfied with the answer. Great. Cool. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the highlights from the community section. So we actually had a couple of really cool things going on this week. So we had Pi Day, which was March 14th, 3.14. And we had Pi Dai for Pi Day. So we actually participated in this campaign with, I think, 7 or 8 different organizations that had some Twitter presence, and also with one of our fantastic, I don't know if he's a community member. I've seen him around, but he mostly does his own thing. But the guy behind the Send Crypto bot. So we actually put out this campaign on using Send Crypto bot, where we were asking people to donate Dai through Twitter to these various charitable organizations. And there was actually, if you go on sendcryptobot.io/Pi Day, there's a leaderboard, and you could see all the people that actually gave money and how much each of these charitable organizations were able to raise. And it was somewhat of a success. We raised actually, let me double check how much we raised. I think it was somewhere in the range altogether. Oh geez, no. Yeah, I think altogether it was something in the range of 70, 130. Yeah, it was about $250 across all 8 different organizations. And if I'm not mistaken, I think MakerDAO was matching those donations in Dai. So anytime you gave, we would match it at the milestone, I think was the deal. Can't really remember. I gotta probably reread that blog post. But either way, it was a cool experiment for Pi Day. It was a lot of fun. If you didn't get a chance to try the Send Crypto bot, it's really neat. All you do is tweet at it, and then the bot DMs you and asks you to send the the Dai to a particular address, and then it sends it over to, it makes it like claimable by the Twitter handle, I think. But really cool. All right, next we had the Dai stability fee reaching parity with compound Dai lending. So that was just a cool little, notable thing that happened when we raised the stability fee a couple weeks ago to 3.5%. We actually saw the lending rate for Dai on compound also hit 3.5%, which is parity. So now lenders of Dai on compound don't actually gain any profit if they also have a CDP, and that's where they're sourcing their Dai from. So that was a cool little economic observation in the whole Dai ecosystem. Next, we saw Joe Lubin mentioning Dai and the burner wallet experience from ETH Denver at this conference called South by Southwest, SXSW 2019. So it was actually the keynote, and it was the first keynote for their first ever blockchain and crypto track. But traditionally, the SXSW conference is like a lot about helping creative people achieve their goals. It's like videography, music, interactive technologies, and like the code convergence of like all of those things. It's a really cool conference, and I think it's pretty big. But they had their first ever blockchain track, and it was really cool to see Joe talking about the burner wallet, which was a marvelous success at ETH Denver. It was a lot of fun. I bought lunch with it myself. And I think Mariano Conti actually tweeted a video of me doing that. So it was fun. And also from Kenny Rowe, we have an English version of the tutorial on using the CDP portal. So to give you guys some background on this, we had a community member, Marcin, who's based out of Poland. He put out this this tutorial video on using the CDP portal, and it was completely in Polish. But the cool thing about it is you could take out the audio and you can completely replace it. So we had the idea of making this tutorial in as many languages as we can. So if anybody on this call is interested in doing a CDP portal tutorial in their own language, be it Spanish or Mandarin or whatever language if you want to volunteer and do something cool for the community, hit up Reuptaken, or just ping me and I will. Oh, Spanish is covered. He just wrote in the chat. Oh, hey, Marcin. Yeah, so Spanish is covered. Never mind. But if you know any languages and you want to do a step-by-step CDP portal tutorial, just hit me up or hit Marcin up. And yeah, so that's that. Let's see what else we have. So we have some cool developer creations this week. Somebody posted on Reddit a simple Telegram bot for posting CDP events with short explanations. Yet another one. I think I saw like 3 or 4 Telegram bots over the last month or two. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the guys at Keydonix who originally created this thing called Liquid Long, which is just another front end for like the CDP portal, but you're actually able in a single atomic transaction to predefine your desired leverage, and you can create a CDP with a certain leveraged amount of ether from the start. And the way it does it is there's a contract that's part of that front end, or I guess that back end actually, that lends you the ETH up front and then basically pays itself back almost immediately with the Dai that you generate subsequently. So it's a really, really cool tool. But now they have this tool called Liquid Close. And Liquid Close allows you to actually unwind your CDP in one atomic transaction. So if you're leveraged and you want to actually close your CDP, you can do that. So check it out. And I'll actually read a bit of a description. So it says, under the hood, this will loan you some ETH. Use that ETH to buy some Dai off of ETH to Dai, and then use the Dai to pay off your debt. Withdraw your ETH, pay off the loan, and then return you any remaining ETH. So now when you're close to being liquidated, you can one button close your CDP, assuming there's enough liquidity on ETH to Dai. So it's a really great way to unwind your CDP if you're distressed and you want to avoid a 13% penalty. So at the moment, both liquid long and I think he meant to write liquid long and liquid close have limited amounts of ETH escrowed in them, so only up to 20 ETH loans. Though we may increase this in the future if things are going well. And also, that site actually supports affiliate linking. So if you send people to either site, you can append a query string with any affiliate address that you have private keys to, and we'll send you half of the ETH fees via a mailbox. So make sure you could sign with the address. Don't use a contract unless you know what you're doing. Yeah, so I'm actually curious. I'm going to see if I can get him as a guest on the call soon, hopefully maybe next week, I'll see. And he can talk a bit more about the tool and like the fees involved and all that kind of stuff, because I don't have exact details on the kind of fees that are charged for his tool. But yeah, that's a really cool thing that came out of the community this week. And then we're moving on to articles. So there was a handful of really nice articles. There was a post-mortem on the governance and risk call. I think it was written by a guy named Matteo Libowitz, and he did a great job at basically summarizing the entire stability fee discussion and what's been going on in governance as of last week's call. Fred Wilson put out a little post on DeFi and Maker, worth reading. CCN, our favorite news site, put out an article, "Security Tokens, Not Bitcoin, is MakerDAO's most exciting new feature," and it basically highlighted the fact that when MakerDAO gets multi-collateral Dai, a big sort of vertical for that is getting security tokens on as collateral, and they're going to account for a significant portion of the underlying collateral portfolio in the future. But this, of course, is all in the future, and it's all hopefully going to happen. So next, we also saw an article called SEC's Crypto SAR, so stablecoins might be violating securities laws. That was an interesting read. If yeah, just read it. It's good. And then, what if you mint money, not the Federal Reserve future? Question mark. So that was actually written by one of our community members, Someway Jane, or maybe it was Somyak Jane. They're brothers. But one of them wrote this post, and it's a pretty good post. They're based out of India, and they're doing they're the Instant App guys. So definitely check out their posts. And then I highlighted a couple of good threads with some decent comment activity in Reddit and some good ideas. So there was one talking about the peg heading back down. There was one talking about whether MakerDAO is ever going to have like a precious metal stablecoin, which is just a way of saying a synthetic asset. So Rune actually talked about it in Prague at the DeFi summit, I think. But synthetic assets are somewhere in the pipeline. And it's actually a really, really, really cool concept if you think about it, being able to have a synthetic asset on a blockchain that's backed by maybe something like Dai. So there's that thread. And then lastly, there was a thread talking about what's going to happen to MakerDAO after the introduction of Ethereum proof of stake, which, you know, it's not that crazy. Nothing insane is going to happen, but there were some good discussions in there, so I felt it was worth highlighting. And that's pretty much it for community highlights. So yeah, if anybody in the call has anything that they want to ask, yeah. All right, let's see. Hilmar writes, in case you don't know, ETH Paris Hackathon project that does interest rate refinancing between variable Maker CDPs and fixed ETH lend loans on Kovan. Ooh, that is an exciting hackathon. I'm really excited to see fixed rate, like I guess contracts on top of Maker. That would be really cool. Kelly asks, do you see any regulatory action coming in the near future for Dai? I personally just am not in a position to answer that, because the truth is I really don't know. But that's probably a better question to ask Brian Avello, who's our MakerDAO lawyer. But yeah, I genuinely don't really know.
Yeah, the article you were just mentioning about proof of stake, I do have a question about it, because while it's obviously not directly caused from Maker, it does impact Maker, and I think it's probably something worth, I don't know, addressing once a month as we get closer to that transition period. This is just some of my ignorance related to it. You know, it's surprising, at least to me, that it's not a subject that's covered more by token holders about how this migration is actually going to happen. Will one chain phase out into the other? Will it be a shard of another? You don't have to answer it now. It's a subject matter, I think, that should start being addressed at least monthly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's why I thought it was an interesting post. I mean, I have stopped following too closely like the progress on Ethereum proof of stake, just because it's just a lot to keep up with, and I don't have the the bandwidth. But yeah, what I saw in the comments there made me start thinking in exactly that path. That there are some interesting implications that are worth considering, but yeah, ultimately, I didn't think of anything too dire. Just the differences in dynamics of the future, really. All right. Brian typically isn't on the Thursday risk call, Kelly, so I think it's probably best to just message him directly. Yeah. All right, so if anybody has any other questions, feel free to raise them. But I think we're actually going to be ending this call a little short this week. I was trying to get a guest on, but couldn't find anybody who could do it this week. Hopefully next week I'll have somebody interesting for you guys. All right, so without further ado, thank you guys for coming to the MakerDAO Tuesday community call. Always a pleasure, guys. Take care.
Bye.